Mr. Minister, Mr. Federal Prosecutor, ladies and gentlemen, but also I would like to welcome the Honorary Minister of Justice, Mr. Stéphane de Klerk, because when we are here today to organize and to listen to the various presentations in this highly and timely and highly important colloquium, it is thanks to his efforts. I called him the brain father of this initiative because a couple of years ago, when he was Minister of Justice, he called a number of academics and companies together. He invited them at his cabinet to start thinking about Belgian cybercrime organization. And he thought, well, maybe we have to pull the academics into the game first, because they can not just do research, but they can also translate this research towards very urgent and practical problems. And so the fact that we are here today has been initiated so many years ago by Minister de Klerk, who was then very interested and very concerned about this topic. And I think there is all reason to be concerned about cybersecurity and cybercrime. And I like to couple the two names and the two words into one sentence, because when you talk cybercrime, you talk cybersecurity and vice versa. And when you look into current thinking and writing on cybersecurity, you will see that it has quite some dimensions attached to it. It is about information security management, but it's also about threat management. It's about security analytics. It's about incident management. It's about infrastructure protection. It's about application protection. It's about access control. It's about information protection. So it is a really multi-dimensional concept which requires legal specialists to work together, to join forces with computer scientists, to join forces with engineers like colleague Bart Preneel, who is very active in the area of encryption and cryptography. So it is a multidisciplinary effort, and not just for the reasons of being academic, but for the reasons of gaining a very deep knowledge as to how we can best tackle the problems we are confronted with. And those problems are omnipresent, and it is an area where probably it will be extremely difficult to always be on top of what happens, because cybersecurity issues will pop up. And it is not only about being proactive, but it's also about being highly reactive when it occurs, meaning that we should intervene as soon as possible with the appropriate measures, because there are so many unknown unknowns in this cybersecurity environment that we need to be aware, that we need to be ready, but also that we need to be highly action-oriented. And for this reason, I think the public we have today, the speakers we have today and tomorrow, offer a very nice overview of all the issues that have to be dealt with, of all the issues that have to be researched, but that also have to move towards implementation. So it's quite holistic, and of course, holistic problems requiring a holistic approach, always run into the danger of too little, too few, too late, etc. And I think this is one of the major challenges that confront us today. We know the problem is there. We know the problem is huge. We know that knowledge is there, but always has to be developed on the frontier of what is happening. And this means we need resources. And at the same time, we know that resources are scarce. Budget cuts are omnipresent. Our federal government is short of money and will be short of money for quite some years to come. So this means that we have to think not just carefully, but also cleverly as to how we will pool resources in order to make sure that the things happen as they should happen. And that's also the reason why I'm extremely happy that KU Leuven has become one of the founding members of the Cybersecurity Coalition that is now starting its operations. That will be a joint effort of the public side, the academic side and the company side, the corporate world, because we will need to pool efforts, we will need to pool resources if we want to move ahead, if we want to tackle the issues, if we want to make sure that in today's world, which is maybe a bit more uncertain and unknown than it was 10 years or 15 years ago, that we are able to cope with the challenges that present themselves. And so I do wish you in this nice city, the brewery 1366, the university 1425, so they knew you needed beer before the wisdom came. But that's why in this, I'm very happy that in this setting you will be able to discuss during 2 days these relevant, urgent issues that are confronting all of us, not just the specialists, but every citizen is confronted with it. Not just adults, but also children. Just read the newspapers, just listen to what was mentioned on the radio this morning, and you will see that cybersecurity is omnipresent and invades the lives of all of us. And that's why I wish you a warm welcome, and I would like to hand over the floor to Mr. Koen Geens, our Minister of Justice, who of course is one of the primary concerned ministers when it comes to the issue of cybersecurity and cybercrime. Please, the floor is yours.